Have you ever noticed something? Soft times has created soft men. And I'm not saying that because I'm angry about it. I'm saying it because I'm genuinely concerned with where the world's going to today. Like, the world has gotten really comfortable. It's gotten convenient. It's gotten instant. It's gotten padded. And that comfort is coming with a cost. Till I was about 12 years old, I was raised by my grandparents on a big tobacco farm. We didn't only have tobacco, we had cows and chickens and pigs and a little bit of everything. But right before I was 13, they passed away and I moved in with my biological dad. Now, that farm, it didn't care about your feelings. The weather, it didn't care. The animals, it didn't care. The work that needed to be done around there, it didn't care about your feelings. And my granddaddy, he wasn't a cruel man. He wasn't just this mean asshole. But he also wasn't gonna lower his standards. He wasn't gonna sit there and ask you if you felt like it. He wasn't gonna give you a big, long, motivational speech to get your butt in gear and get you going. He was the kind of guy that say, boy, you hold that damn flashlight still. And you was gonna do it. Now, I remember one night, it was the middle of a thunderstorm. The lightning was so loud, it was shaking the windows and the rain was beating on the roof. And I remember Granddaddy came into my room. He didn't really give no explanation. He's like, boy, get up and get your shoes on. Now, when an old farmer comes into your room at midnight and tells you that, you don't ask no questions, you just move. So I got my shoes on and we walked out the door into the storm. The rain was coming in sideways and the wind was throwing you off balance a little bit and the mud was slick as could be. But a cow had got stuck down in the creek bank and was trying to give birth. And I remember the smell of the wet dirt. I remember the cold water running through my legs. I remember slipping and losing my shoe right there in that mud. I was 9 years old. I was 9. And there I was standing in the storm, in the field, in the mud, trying to bring a calf into this world. I wasn't brave. I wasn't confident. I was cold. I was scared, and I was shaking. But Granddaddy didn't treat me like I was fragile. He treated me like I was capable. And that right there will do something to a boy. You know, last year I told a family member this story, and what they said back sort of messed with me a little bit. She said, you know, Granddaddy had gotten old by the time that happened. He was probably just scared to go out there alone in that storm. It sort of changed my memory of everything a little bit, because my whole life I've associated that story with toughness. And maybe he was scared. Maybe he didn't want to go alone. Maybe he grabbed me because he trusted me. Maybe that's how men build men. Not by protecting us from the storm, but by pushing us into it. You know, in today's times, we tend to remove struggle. We remove responsibility. We remove discomfort. We tend to smooth the road and fix the mistake and try to rescue before the lesson actually has a chance to land. Then we turn around and wonder why our grown men crumble under pressure. We're raising comfortable boys. And comfortable boys don't become steady leaders. Leadership requires pressure. Leadership is going to require exposure. You can't lead a family or a business or a community if the first time it storms, you fold. Now, I'm not blaming the world, but I am blaming fathers. Because if we don't learn to introduce controlled storms, the world is going to introduce uncontrolled ones. And this world ain't going to be gentle. That storm, it didn't scar me. It anchored me. It taught me that when something needs to be done, you step in the mud. It doesn't matter if you're scared. It doesn't matter if you're cold. It don't matter if you lose your shoe. You step in. Now, I love my kids fiercely, but loving doesn't mean to make life easy, to make life soft. I want them to be the kind of man who can stand in the rain, look at the problem, and still step forward. Soft times are creating soft men, and it's our job to let them step into the storms. And that is the cold, hard, blue-collar truth.